All right, we're going. All right, Midnight Discovery. Wednesday, 5:30 p.m., Knoxville, Tennessee, 2500 Sutherland Avenue. If you're everybody Tennessee, you're welcome to come. Knoxville, you're welcome to come down. Essentially free. Talking about crypto, and today we're going to be talking about methods of record keeping. And keeping track of performance on crypto and the research. Barrett is going to be leading the topic. Let me get everybody set with their pads. So you can, I'm going to keep my pad. Patrick, here you go. Mm-hmm. Here's your pad. Barrett, here you are. So there we go. So there's our notepads. Barrett, you got what you think?
Yeah, water's good.
Patrick, you got what you want?
Mm-hmm.
Now, can I get you something to water?
I'm okay.
Okay. Get you on or anything? Good to go. All right, I'm excited about this. So first, let's talk about just some general news real quick. So,
yeah, go ahead.
So, everybody grab a pen if you need one. But so the Ethereum just did the Raiden network, for those who don't know, so it's on the test net, so this is official. The Raiden network, Ethereum will call whatever they what Bitcoin people do. So in Bitcoin, they call it Lightning Network. But Raiden and Lightning Network are the same thing. And so the Ethereum Lightning version of Lightning Network, they're testing it right now. It will probably not make the October release, but it could if all the tests go through well. Vitalik is extremely excited about it. He would love for it to make the October release, but there's also a good chance it'll not make it. And if it doesn't make the October release, then that means it goes into like January or something like that. So the next update for Ethereum is supposed to be between September 27th and October. People are stating that it's confirmed for September 22nd. I've heard that. I do not think. I think that is misinformation, frankly, but it could be correct. Once they confirm it, I assume that they will tell everyone about this. So there will be a call Friday. I'm going to listen to the call. They always have a call on Friday.
Who's that?
Ethereum developers on YouTube. Ethereum up, but most importantly, Litecoin. I was telling someone just today, Litecoin is completely centered around the Lightning Network or the Raiden network. And so, whereas Ethereum has maybe 20 different development projects in the works, and they have to time their release based on when the majority of the 20 are done, and the Lightning Network might not make the first release. It might be pushed into January. Litecoin is only after this Lightning Network business. So they are going to try to, as soon as the Lightning Network is created, they're going to push it into their coin so that they're the first movers on this one technological development. And since we know it's about ready to get done, you've seen a little bit of the Lightning Network, the Litecoins going up.
Yeah. It's what, doubled almost?
Doubled, yeah. But it's on this stuff. I think it's essentially based on this stuff nearing completion. And then some other stuff in the news. China banned the ICOs, which we're all aware of. Most of us are aware of. NEO is not one of them. I happen to have a lot of NEO, just so people know. Now, what does that mean for the crypto space? A lot of people think that this means that China's pulling out of the crypto space completely. I think that is untrue, based on what China bans Bitcoin about every month, and then it unbans it a month later. They like to ban Bitcoin, unban it, ban Bitcoin, unban it. You just don't know what China's going to do. And it's weird that whenever China bans Bitcoin, the Bitcoin price will almost go up immediately, because like people try to buy Bitcoin for like a day, and then it goes down for a little bit while the ban stays in effect. So Neo is not going to be banned 100%. It is China. It's effectively approved. They listed 100 different coins which they were going to ban, such as OMG being one of the more popular ones at the moment, Omisa Go. And they also said that these coins, so what they're doing to people, so when they ban ICOs, just to be clear, they are not banning the development of blockchain technology. What they are banning is the request for new investment for development of blockchain technology. So I'm working with a project that I'm extremely excited about called Alvalar that was officially announced a couple of days ago. I'm really excited about it, but anyways, so all the same, like the new development of something like, let's just call it Omisa Go for simple talk. If they make what is effectively like contracts or ICOs, like Tezos did, but if they make contracts with people where they say, you give us $1 million, we'll give you a whole lot of coins at a very early stage in the development cycle, and presumably you'll make a lot of money off of this before it's traded on the international exchanges, then China is saying they're not going to permit that. However, if you start a coin and you don't request money from people and you simply fund it internally, then you're totally fine to have a coin on an exchange. A ban of ICO is not a ban on blockchain development, but it does reduce the ability for, like, let's just say a lone programmer or a programmer without any infrastructure or backing of financial backers. It does reduce their ability to get into the market and secure essentially substantial portions of the profits or the investments. Now you'll end up seeing blockchain developers work with money or work with people in a more private sector doing ICOs behind the scenes rather than over the exchanges or over the websites, where it's more attractive to like random people, or uneducated investors, as they say. So is it a bad thing for China's blockchain entry? It will reduce China's blockchain entry. I can understand where the government's coming from in terms of stabilizing the economy. I totally understand that, and I also understand their another concern that some people mention is that Europeans and Americans have substantial ownership of Bitcoin and Ethereum and a few others, and the Chinese government is to some degree speculating that this might put the Western powers at an unfair advantage compared to all the Chinese interests, which would effectively have to buy, I'm not saying Ethereum in particular, but they'd effectively, every time a China person buys Ethereum, they're giving their money to somebody in America or Europe. So sometimes this might be a nationalistic concern, and Neo is at least more China owned than others. But I'm not going to say that. I'm not positive this is a major concern, but the one thing specifically that they're doing, it's not a ban on new blockchain development, but they are not allowing new blockchain developers to request funds from the public in exchange for things that might have value, such as shares or coins. This is the specific thing that they're against. And all the people who did that have to return the coins. So they're forcing Omisa Go and Neo and all the others to offer a full refund for everyone. Yeah.
So do they just have to offer it? Do they actually have to make good on it?
They have to offer it. They do not have to make good on it. For example, the Neo investors can get their Bitcoins back, but their Bitcoins are worth a 50th of whatever the Neo is worth.
Yeah.
So some people still do it.
Yeah.
And especially the people who filed the complaints with the government, they might be obligated to do it, I guess.
They are obligated, but
I think.
it's not like they have to do it for everybody.
No,
There's still options.
yeah, as long as you give the option to people. But the real issue is, can you track the funds and who did what? And how can you force offer it to everyone so that everyone knows? Neo, in particular, they assumed that the government was going to do this at one point, so they tracked the individual and they sent them all emails like pretty quickly. Suncoins, like who might not have been thinking about this, might have commingled the funds, and then the Chinese government is going to like force an audit upon them and say, show us where you get all your coins from. And so this is just, it's definitely burden.
Yeah.
It's definitely administrative burden. But it's also an interesting concept because a lot of these coins are set up as nonprofits. So it is a little bit questionable to have private investors making substantial profits based on Red Cross shares or based on Catholic Church shares. You know, if you're selling shares of the Catholic Church and someone made a lot of money from their initial investment and calling it a nonprofit, it might sound a little funny. You know, if it's a business, I'm a little bit more okay with it. That these things are all set up as nonprofits as far as it applies. Most of them all are. Anything else in the news? I'm trying to think about I guess we'll just go around the room. Ethereum doing that test network. There's talk about a scheduled release September, but I think I have strong doubts about that being true. And regarding other coins, just in terms of market pressures, I think IOTA is a very reasonable purchase right now. That's my personal opinion. In terms of which coins fell the hardest, IOTA fell the hardest big time.
It went down to like what?
50 cents.
50 cents, yeah.
55 cents. It's now back up to 75 cents. But IOTA went like a 50% drop compared to all the others. Most of them did like a 30% drop, or 20% rather, and then Neo did a 30.
But you got to get that on Bitfinex or
Bitfinex. Now Bitfinex is having a little bit of user refund issues. So like, I don't know if the IOTA drop was because some people with big money were getting worried about Bitfinex stealing their money and getting out of there. But in either case, just be kind of a little bit. It might be recommended to be a little cautious as to how much IOTA you buy and how much you transfer to Bitfinex. Or it could just be somebody seeing that the price is really good, because you see this a lot. It could be somebody seeing that the IOTA price is really good, knowing that they want to buy a lot and prevent people from buying it. They say, hey guys, get all your money off of Bitfinex. I'm not trying to buy IOTA, but this is the only place you can buy it from. Cash all your money out. And I'm talking to Americans, and the only reason Americans have a Bitfinex account is to buy IOTA.
So like with IOTA, can you set up like a secure wallet off of?
I think you can. I have not done it. I need to, frankly, because at this point, you can, but I'm not 300% positive. And basically, I'm never positive unless I've done it.
Yeah.
Once I do it, I'm positive. But they do have a blockchain. I just haven't set up the wallet. I haven't tested it. And I think you can maybe buy IOTA on their own little blockchain. I'm not positive though. But so I kind of think IOTA is a good buy right now. I of course think Ethereum is going to go up substantially in the very near term. So I'm very happy with having quite a bit of Ethereum. If you do have it, I'd be very happy with it. I don't have any other grand predictions at this moment. Okay, so Judy, anything you'd like to? What source? Where do you go for sources of information for crypto news?
The conference calls that I've been with a group over 8 years. It started with other things, and now we're doing this. I try to get on the calls, especially like the Wednesday night one.
Yeah.
There's people from all over the world. And there's a website, and some people, when they find out something, they'll post it there. Or if they, have a YouTube or run across some information somewhere, they put the links up for us to go. And some of them, I guess, really smart.
Yeah.
And then there's a whole lot of them, like me, just beginning. You know, just a little bit. Just starting.
Is it more thrilling or more nervous for you?
Both.
Both. Okay, there you go. That's a good reply.
I mean, the verification, and they can't read it, or whatever reason, and do it over and over, and you just keep it doing it, I guess. What can you do?
Yeah, that's how I feel. Anything about the market you want to talk about in particular? No.
What did I say when I first come in? People was talking about.
I can't recall.
Oh God. Ripple.
Ripple. Have you been looking into Ripple?
There's a lot of people getting the Ripple since it's so cheap.
Yeah, I haven't got me no Ripple.
But I'm just now figuring out you can't go to Ripple. You have to send money from Coinbase to Ripple to get it.
Well, you have to go from Coinbase, Bittrex, probably.
Bittrex buy Bitcoin and then exchange that for Ripple.
You got to exchange Bitcoins for Ripple. Bittrex. So you have to go to that website.
That's different than that.
That's different than that. All these things have their own website. So Bittrex.com, and then you can buy a lot of them from Bittrex.
Ripple.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
But I have to put money out of Coinbase into here.
Yeah.
You can't put money into this.
Maybe you can, maybe you can't, but basically.
I like it in one spot.
Oh, ain't that the truth?
Coinbase, you can get to 3 right there. You don't have to go nowhere.
Bittrex, you can get to 50. It gives you a lot there.
I don't think you can import money from your bank account into Bittrex.
You can't? Okay.
But you can import, essentially do Bitcoin
like all the coins
into
in
it,
one place.
and then you can buy anything.
That is up to 72 cents.
So buy it on Coinbase, buy your
72?
Bitcoin on Coinbase.
Deal, yeah.
So it has to be a Bitcoin. It couldn't be none of those others that I bought.
They do Ethereum.
Will they take a piece of it or the whole shebang?
A piece. They'll do
The
a piece.
Ethereum and the Litecoin, I've got one of those.
Yeah, they'll do Litecoin, Ethereum, and Bitcoin.
You made some money off Litecoin.
She did.
The other day after I bought it, it dropped. I don't know what it is. I ain't looked at it in a while.
It's going back up.
No,
it's way up.
Huh?
Is it way up?
It's probably getting close to 80 again, right?
And back to 80, yeah.
It's like 76, I think, when I saw it.
What'd you get it for? You recall?
That was 40
I don't
bucks.
carry a checkbook. I don't carry nothing.
Yeah, you gotta carry the checkbooks.
Yeah.
Something I paid $300 and something for one.
Ethereum.
Is that what that was?
Probably.
Yeah.
And then the other one was, I don't know, $70, $80.
That's
Something like that.
Litecoin.
Litecoin.
Yeah, probably.
See, I told you, I don't know what I'm doing.
Well,
And I was scared to
It's
even,
fine.
do the pay button.
The only
I thought,
other
God.
news we got.
I was afraid
Yeah,
they'd
what
take
you
all
got?
my
Oh,
money.
there's some other news.
Yeah, let's see what
You
Patrick
give them
got.
access.
Patrick got some stuff.
Alright, so the other news is Omisco may not be caught in the ICO ban to get money back. They are sort of. They're parlaying that they're not securities.
Oh, whatever.
With the government, but they also are talking with
Yeah,
the
that's not
government
going to
about it.
happen.
It doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter because the
everybody
ICO, they made money.
Yeah, but Omisco is still going up as we speak.
Yeah, so I just want to say with
Mesa.
this ICO ban, like I was saying before, all they have to do is give people the option.
Correct.
People will refuse it because it's a lot less money to get your money back. But the big issue with the China thing is
It's $12 right now. They bought it for like 20 cents.
For 20 cents. But the China is bugging all the people, and it might seem a little bit silly, but they are bugging all the people to figure out who gave what money, and if you can't figure it out, we'll help you.
Yeah.
And it's more of just annoyance.
So
it's not really that big of a deal, but it is an annoyance.
The other thing is that Canada let an ICO go through and kind of supported them, but they fully regulated them. They fully called them a security. And they fully regulated them.
And that's the way to do it.
And they kind of said, hey, we're going to let you slide on a few of the rules of the securities because we support this innovation, basically.
Oh, really? Good.
Yes.
Which one is that?
Oh, the one they let them slide on? I have to look at it.
You could say a miso.
Yeah, go.
O-M-I-S-E. O-M-I-S-E-G-O.
You got Omisco.
O-M.
Yeah. I-S-E-G-O.
Never heard of this stuff.
Yeah, it's called OMG on the ticker.
On the what?
OMG. You got OMG?
The ticker's OMG.
What's the ticker?
I've been watching it.
Oh, like Ethereum
like
is ETH.
When they were
And Bitcoin.
11.
And Litecoin goes by LTC.
But they went way down.
It's just a 3-letter thing.
Say,
All right. I'll find this one, but we're not too worried about it. But let's just put that Canada is supporting this technology.
Yeah. So
U.S. is supporting this technology.
Yeah, and then China's at the current time, but they will be eventually.
The thing about China, I talked about a discussion with it, that this may be, China's very against people making money that aren't government related.
Yep.
One. Number two, they also don't like currency leaving the country.
Yep.
So these are the two big things. So this ICO ban may be a warning shot. It may not hold.
It's kind of more like a warning shot.
It could be a warning shot saying, hey, we're the government. You need to take account of us in this blockchain technology, which means either two things. That Neo comes around and says, hey, here's some cash in their left palm hand, and then China says, we're good with this, and the people banks support Neo, and then it could soar the price. The opposite could happen is that they don't play ball.
Yeah.
And then the government tries to crush them.
Yeah.
And this is the two waves. And I'm talking about, when people talk about it's $1 billion, yeah, people don't notice $1 billion. But honestly, when we talk about China, they've killed people for millions of dollars if they're found doing something illegal to make money off Chinese either mineral or whatever. Mineral deposits, they've been known to execute people for taking $100 grand worth of minerals.
You don't screw with China no matter what.
Yeah.
If you live in China.
They can't really affect us. They even have an internet block wall. They have a firewall for the entire country.
It's crazy.
So when we talk about China, that's the things you can take into effect. This could be a warning shot, and it could go away.
That's the most likely. It's most likely.
Yeah, I believe that, and I believe Neo is going to reach about $35-$40 again.
Yeah,
after
we'll
some news comes out.
Yeah, right.
It will.
We'll see.
It will.
I like the way you talk.
Put that out there.
Let's hear more from Patrick.
I sold around $35-$40.
Yeah, you're mostly out, aren't you?
I'm out all the way. The last sold I did was $38, and I sold my last $500.
Excellent.
And I spread out, but that's neither here nor there. But I just knew that the Chinese government does not like people messing with their money and currencies.
Right. Yeah,
and
that's a good point. And there's too much money.
And it was a lot of money for them.
Yeah.
So I believe this is a warning shot. I don't believe this is any kind of long-term policy China's going to hold. I believe this is a warning. If you want to mess with us, we can stomp you into the ground, kind of a show of force.
Yeah.
And what China likes to do this very much financially. They like to show force financially. They like to. It's the whole thing. President Trump is like, hey, we got trade agreements with China, and they're not for us, and then China wants to show force back at them.
Yes.
And it's a lot of money in this whole deal.
China does economic warfare.
Yes, very much.
Some degree.
They do cyber warfare and economic warfare.
Yeah.
And that's their warfare. They're not going to go to war with anybody because we'd stomp their ass. But that's neither here nor there. But in general, we just stomp them to the ground. So they do cybersecurity warfare, and they do a lot of financial warfare. The United States does the exact same thing. So
we do real similar stuff.
No, we do it, but we also produce freedom and growth. We also like to project that image, so we're not going to try to crush homegrown businesses.
Right. So that's kind of like, so if the U.S. was unhappy with, let's just call it Ethereum. If the U.S. was unhappy with Ethereum, rather than trying to stomp Ethereum, and what we would do is just make a better Ethereum and then compete with them in that way.
Yeah, compete with them and then give them tax breaks.
We'd be like, oh yeah, this Ethereum is doing great. Our citizens aren't doing what they should be doing. Here's some tax breaks. Here's some scholarships. Here's some grant money.
Mm-hmm.
Make us a better fucking Ethereum and get on it.
Yeah.
Whereas China just says, how about we just ban everybody and put an audit on all the people who aren't Chinese.
Yeah.
And see what happens.
It's if you want to understand China, just understand that you're not allowed to really get on some of these Chinese. Literally, you're not allowed to get on some of these Chinese trading places, these trading platforms. Why? Because you're not Chinese.
Yeah.
And
they're crazy.
That's literally
they're a little crazy.
Goes.
But also they're very communal.
They are.
So they end up having quite a lot of success because they're all for all Chinese people having success.
And we're talking about patriotism, and then that's how they feel.
Well, and I'll just say also
make China great.
Yeah, make China great. But in their social practices, you'll see Americans and maybe Europeans, but you'll see a lot of Americans. They compete against one another directly, whereas in Chinese practices, when I see Chinese and Koreans competing in the world stage, they often help each other out, and it's like China versus the world versus China versus. in America, it's America versus the world. Like, you know, every American is against you plus the world. You know, everybody's against you. It's all by yourself. Good luck to you.
So things
Anyways,
that are
that's
kind of in the news of people and making is there isn't much going on besides that. I don't know if people believe this, but this possibly could be a belief, is that a couple ETFs are coming out. These stock traders on crypto and Ethereum. Also, this one Ethereum coin you could have got into is called MTAP, I believe. And it's basically you invest in them, you get a token, but they invest in Litecoin, Bitcoin, Ethereum.
Oh, okay, gotcha, yeah.
So a lot of these are spider funds.
Spider fund coins.
Spider fund coins and spider fund stock market stuff.
Right.
So did they try to drop the price to get in cheaper, to buy up front?
Well, yeah, so like coordinated FUD campaigns are something that exists. I think people use their money much less frequently in trying to drop price. It's much cheaper to pretend to be a random stranger who's upset with Litecoin, or like I mentioned, right now everybody's mentioning how they're upset with Bitfinex, but effectively this drops the price of IOTA tremendously. So I don't know if, it's hard to say if these things are legitimate or if it's a management company making multi-million-dollar decisions, and all they have to do is write a convincing little post.
And I feel that the drop in crypto was a FUD campaign / money as well. All it takes is a few high up companies, Fidelity, certain things, and they talk to their buddies who are invested in crypto, because I'm sure they are.
Yeah.
And then they're all invested, and they do a FUD campaign on top of withdraw money from almost all these major currencies, drop the price 1 or 2%. You get a panic sell going on, and by panic sell, I don't mean everyone just sells out. They sell out into USD Tether and into cash, and they wait for the price to drive.
Is what they're doing.
And they drop the price. If you watch Crypto Compared, you'll see Tether start moving up on the volume, which means everybody's going into cash.
Right.
And then everyone feels that it's going to keep going down, but the more regular investors pull out, the lower the price goes. And yeah, you made a little bit of money, but what you really did is you start to centralize cryptocurrency, because some of these bigger dollars are going out, waiting till it gets low and going back in at the same time. And then they accumulate more of the crypto sphere. I feel that it's entirely a FUD campaign / money campaign when you have a drop of 20% in the entire crypto sphere, and then on Tuesday you have a jump of 18% back.
So the main argument I'll make against that, just to talk about that, is a lot of people, even though I think there is some money involved, it's far cheaper. It's much more economical. If your goal is to drop the price of Bitcoin so that you could buy a bunch, or Ethereum to buy a bunch, it's far cheaper just to make a lot of posts on the internet, lie, and you can do this for, like, one person can do this with 20 different accounts and make a very convincing story that the ICO ban in China is actually a big deal, when it's actually not a big deal at all.
It's not. Well, I'm saying
or something like this.
Well, what Keller's saying
is
with the
just
money,
cheaper.
Yeah, what I'm saying is you get a news. Of the news, and then you start withdrawing your money to drop the price. So it says people are acting like.
I'm not saying first. Okay, yeah. So you act before your FUD campaign.
First,
you act first, and then you do your FUD campaign, and then you
the prices are dropping.
And this is a good point. This is a perfect strategy.
All I'm saying is it's not like a lot of money.
It's a good
Let's
strategy.
just say 30 million. You have
30
million. A bunch of people, and you have it across all crypto. A lot of crypto.
Yes.
You sell out into USD, you start dropping the price 1 and 2%, everyone looks at the market, it's all down 2%, you put out the FUD campaign, you keep powering it, and then it keeps going down because regular investors start doing the exact same thing, because this happened before.
Yes.
So people realize, hey, it's doing the same thing that happened before, I'm going to get out now, I'm going to save money, and then put it in currency, and when I feel that I go right back in. And then you can watch Crypto Compare, and when you start seeing Tether start to rise into the top 25 currencies traded, you should probably pull your money. But that helps them conglomerate more crypto, but we can fight them that way if we're just as smart as they are.
Okay, and
that's my opinion.
Last thing I'll mention is just everybody should be keeping an eye on Tezos. A lot of stuff is going on Tezos. It's not making the big crypto news yet, but I think everyone should keep an eye on Tezos. Then you'd be Tezos. Right? You can't
spell everything
you can't spell it like it sounds. But just Tezos. But keep an eye on Tezos. Okay, Barrett, sorry for delaying you, my man. Would you like to share about your thoughts on the market or anything you want to talk about? And then let's go into our topic.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to add anything to the market.
Okay, we talk so much. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, I mean,
sure. All right, let's do the topic. Yeah, it dropped. Bummer. Oh, now one thing I wanted to say. Go ahead.
Can the government really shut down all crypto?
No, they can't.
I thought, how can they? It's all out the internet.
They can, but not really. They're not going to. The real question is there motivation for the government to do it? And there's not the motivation for them to do it. So they're not going to do it. They could with guns, but there's
Who are they going to shoot?
Yeah, there's no real idea to do this. One other thing I wanted to mention though, when the market was going down, one thing I did make the mistake of was I started thinking about all my losses, and I started getting consumed with worries and stuff like this. If I was a little bit smarter at the time, because I was watching it at the time, and I saw Ethereum hit $275, and I was watching the market exactly when it hit 275, and I was in front of my computer being able to trade at that time. What I could have done if I was a little bit more aware of myself and control of my emotions, I could have taken my Ethereum, done a margin play where I took 25 Ethereum with it at 275 and then sold it at 330, what it is today, and effectively I take my 5 Ethereum and turn it into 10 Ethereum without any additional investment, just by being in front of the computer at the right time, having control of the emotion. And then you have to, I mean, it went from 380 to 275, so you knew you were pretty good to go. But anytime you do margin, you really need an extreme price movement so that you feel very confident it's going to go back in a very quick fashion. But anyways, all right, sorry. Let's do methods and record keeping when performing crypto research.
Okay. So I'm Barrett Leslie. The initial thing with this was to come up with a trading strategy for a group investment thing.
Yeah.
I've generalized it, so it's just some general rules.
Yeah.
I had planned on working on it over the weekend, didn't have time. So
Sure.
Yeah.
Football game.
Football game, and
it's an awesome win, 2 overtime.
So I worked on it this afternoon, but this is the basic overview. So, so I've obviously been in here only briefly, but I've learned a lot in a short period of time.
I think so too.
Either on purpose or not.
Right.
But yeah, so
you got skin in the game.
So this is what I've seen and what I think is going to be my general strategy and what I would recommend to others who are trying to fix
Is this like a stock market? I never know nothing about a stock market.
Well, that's what I'm thinking of it in terms of, but it doesn't go for one. It has similarities, but not one for one.
All right, we ready, my man?
Okay.
Let's do it.
So our general plan, an overview is the 3 things I think you should focus on. And I think the first one is, and the most important, is minimizing your risk. So little sub-bullet points. This is just my overview. Identify your major risks in trading and establish a protocol based on those findings.
I think that's good.
And then a bet.
My pops talked about this more.
Minimizing your risk?
Well, establishing protocol based on those findings.
Yeah.
And so what that means in simple terms would be high-low points. But, all right.
Well, and so I don't know if anyone follows the Vols. And this is one of the reasons a lot of people hate Butch Jones is he uses statistics to call his plays, and he says if this happens, we're going to do this.
Oh, I see.
And that's a good strategy the majority of the time. Now there's sometimes when it's 4th and goal and you just throw all that out the door and go for it. But I think establishing some best practices for your trading and things like that and ways to minimize risk and just kind of sticking with it and keeping a lot of the emotion out of it is kind of what I'm.
Yeah, I fully agree. All right, best practices.
Okay, so best practices: establish protocol for trading in various markets.
Okay.
Establish protocol for how money will be exchanged between members. So.
Okay, got it. Yeah.
Okay, and then
I like it.
Diversification: establish varied levels of risk, and then establish approaches to determine and monitor the successfulness of those approaches.
All right, I'm ready.
Okay, so minimizing risk.
Mm-hmm.
Cryptocurrency is super volatile, and that makes it risky.
Mm-hmm.
The two obvious risks when you get into trading are the speed at which you take a position, either getting in or out of a short or medium term market. Okay. And then the second is if you're leaving your funds in there unchecked for an indefinite period of time, because the market fluctuates a bunch. So a tool and protocol needed for both. I'd say the first one you need is, say these are equal importance. The first one's a bot. So a bot is needed to ensure that if the market drops below like an unacceptable percentage, the funds will be automatically withdrawn. So something like we experienced on Monday.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? So if you had a bot set up that says, hey, if this drops below 20%, pull my funds.
Right.
I will not lose more than 20%.
Okay, got it.
And so that way you're ensuring you're not losing more than 20%. And then storage. Storage is when moving between various positions. I think you got to figure out a way to manage or minimize the value you lose going between positions.
Tether, yeah. Okay, got it.
So I recommend something like Tether. So, and using a Tether forces you to do two major things. It forces you to have a premeditated, research-driven trading strategy going in. So my money's over here, it's making no value. If I'm going to move it, it has to be making value, and this is why I'm saying it's going to make value. Is using that Tether, you say, these are my time frames and these are the percentages I expect to earn, and I set my bot up to do that.
Right.
And then I'm in and I'm out, and I'm not just letting it ride all the time.
Yeah, I think those ideas. I'll say personally, I'm less favorable toward bots, but I do agree that having a number-driven protocol at the very minimum, if the market goes down by 3%, emergency review, and then if you can't review it, then maybe you get the bot do something. But yeah, I think a bot is a good idea for. Anyways, I can see advantages to a bot. Crypto is so crazy. I like the idea of maybe an emergency review if we have the option.
Yeah.
If we have the option, something like that.
Well, see, the thing with the bot is if you say 3%, well,
it's 3%.
It regulates 3%. It does 3% in an hour. You know what I'm saying? Like it goes
up
and
down.
Yeah. So you got to set it's got to be a reasonable percentage.
Right. Exactly.
Yeah. And so you.
Right.
I mean, I just used that as an example. But,
Sure.
And then best practices. Cryptocurrency marketplaces, quirky is the word that I'm using. So to say the least, so moving money into the market, between exchanges, between individuals,
right,
requires like a certain level of technical expertise just to do it. And to do that, you need some sort of standards and protocol to do that safely. And the thing I'm using here is Murphy's Law. Anything that can go wrong will go wrong. So exchanges, and this is where your friend may have a solution.
Right. Yeah.
An established protocol for trading in and out of all your different exchanges. So a list of and an understanding of the various coins that are traded on those accounts and the methods for how you trade on those accounts. So so you got to have some sort of way of tracking all this. You got to have a breakdown sheet of your passwords, your usernames, and a breakdown of your understanding of how long it takes you to get money in and out of those exchanges.
Oh, right, gotcha.
Because like Coinbase sometimes will just say, hey, you're not getting your money for 15 days.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
It's crazy.
And so it doesn't matter if you have a great buying option, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So you gotta as you learn, remember Don't go this path. Go this path.
I get nutty with Coinbase. Sorry. Sorry.
And money exchange. So set up a protocol of how you will put money into your account and how you will retrieve your money.
Okay, got it.
So this involves various strategies. And this is one I have not done, but I will be doing, is getting a crypto wallet.
Right.
Like a secure offline.
Yeah.
So like you store your Bitcoin or your Ethereum or whatever.
So people recommend like a Nano S or a Ledger.
Yeah.
Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, you can do it on your PC, which is.
Right, that's what I've been doing.
It's probably more secure, but also it's
a son of a gun.
Yeah, it's centrally located.
Nano, Nanos, or just Ledger, Ledger. So either Nano S or a Ledger wallet. These are about $150 or
Each?
Yeah.
But you just need one.
You just need one.
Well, I don't know.
Yeah, but they're about $150. I like to do it on the PC. The only thing I'll say is doing it on the PC is more expensive than a Nano S because all the technology you have to buy is expensive itself.
Well, yeah, and I like the idea of having.
I gotta buy something to do this.
Yeah, you gotta buy.
No, you don't have. Well,
other than 150. Well, I don't know what the OS is or whatever.
Well, you don't need to do any of this. If you're using Coinbase and Bittrex, you don't need to do this. This is just we're just talking about. This is just ideas.
The idea is that hackers can technically get in to an exchange and take money out. Then you have it stored offline.
Now, the only thing I'll say to that, especially to a lot of folks, as it applies, you also got to question yourself: am I going to keep up with this hard drive, or am I going to lose it?
Yeah.
If you're the type of person to lose things, don't do it.
Yeah.
So there you go.
You lose your whole computer.
It's like this size.
They might give you something like that. So it's easy to lose these little things, and it doesn't say.
You stick it in the thing somewhere.
Yeah,
like
USB
a
stick.
Or something.
It's a USB stick. Yeah, so
One
you'd
of
want
them
to
little bitties.
Yeah, one of them little bitties.
Okay.
So you can lose one of them things, and it could have like $20,000 on it, or somebody throw it out, or you just drop it and you forget about it.
In the future, it won't be like this, but right now it is.
Yeah, right now it's a little crazy.
There's plus and minuses.
In the future, it will be way better dealt with.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, you good?
How do I get a copy of this you're doing?
Oh, well, we'll pop it on YouTube.
For the whole world to see?
For the whole world to see.
Oh, Lord.
Yeah.
So,
you told me no, you lied.
So the next little thing I got listed here is when putting your money into the cryptosphere, beware the markets change. Buy the most stable coins possible. So
right, yeah.
Let's just say, for instance, you bought, say, 10 Ethereum. Say Friday or Monday or some day. They would be down by like $100 within a day or so. Same thing with if you bought Bitcoin. Now, which one would you have lost more money on? That's up for debate. Those are two very decent, stable ones to go into. But I would say Bitcoin, you probably would have lost a little less.
Mm-hmm.
So it's always safer to go, when you're going in initially, putting money in, go with the most stable one you can, and then well, either move it. Well, it depends. There's different strategies, but either move it to Tether or move it.
Yeah. And I think that's a good one.
I want mine to sit there for retirement.
Yeah.
And then the next one is when doing cash entries, make sure you use, make sure you got the wallet ID correct.
Mm-hmm.
Deal with your purchases in terms of coins. Keller taught me that, not in terms of dollars. And establish all that on the front end, agreed upon, and try to do your transactions in real time.
Yep, I agree. I agree about all that.
Okay, when exiting the market, this is one I don't have a protocol for. How do you cash out? That's something I need to come up with.
Right.
I'm not ready to cash out yet. So
yeah, we're not thinking about it yet. Okay, there you go.
So my last and final, well, not my final one.
No, yeah, sure.
Diversification. So
sure.
Like all markets, there's different ways to be successful, and the pliability or whatever of the cryptosphere is both its boon and a crutch at the same time. So I think you need time to evaluate various strategies, and over time, use a multi-pronged approach, dividing up your assets so you can see which ones are working best for you.
Right. Yeah.
And so I outlined 3 different approaches here. Our low risk prong, not a large shrimp. So you just basically long-term investing in the top 10 cryptocurrencies, and then put a bot on it so that you pull out when it goes below an unacceptable percentage for you. So this is a very bearish approach. Focus on preventing your risk, and your thought pattern here is it's just a matter of time before the bottom drops out.
Okay, right. So when he says bearish, he's saying if the crypto market was to go downhill, Bitcoin would go downhill the slowest, whereas some of the smaller boys, they would disappear instantly.
Yeah. And so you want to just hit those top 10 and
Yep, I agree with that.
Only pull out when they go down. That's essentially the whole strategy.
I like that. All right.
How far down?
I know.
You got to determine that. Is it 20%? Yeah. What can you stand to lose?
Right. Yeah. If Ethereum goes from 300 to $10, hopefully we got out somewhere in between.
Yeah. Hopefully about 290.
Yeah. Hopefully 290. Yeah. There you go.
Oh, so it ain't good for me just to put it there and leave it alone.
Well, it should be all right. It's Ethereum and Bitcoin, Litecoin. Those are the big boys.
Yeah.
I got one of each.
Yeah, them the big boys.
Yeah,
a piece in the 1-on-1.
Well, that's kind of the strategy is to stick with the Big Ten, kind of leave it in there.
Yeah, that's basically.
And the way to pick those, just go to CoinMarketCap. Pick the top 10.
I agree.
Medium risk, term investments into the top 20 performers with the use of a bot to take funds in and out over short-term intervals, medium to short. In this prong, your perspective is volatility of the market is its biggest boon, and you're trying to exploit that.
Got it.
So
got it.
Here your research strategy is to look for particular dates, like hard forks, changes in platforms, government regulations, discrepancy between market pricing.
Got it. Yeah.
This will require searches on forums, Reddit, etc. And you need to keep a calendar and establish a criteria for moving in and out of markets. So say I spot comments X, Y, and Z in 3 different forums, and this pattern has been consistent in the past, then I take the steps of my protocol for medium-term trading and when those dates arise.
Gotcha.
So that's basically it. It's a monitoring the forums and research, setting up some dates, and then taking a premeditated strategy. So you say, when I see this pattern happening, I'm going to do these 3 things.
I like that.
And then the high risk is short, medium, and long term investing in like ICOs and up and comers, and like Pat was saying, investing in the apps developed along with those platforms. You know what I'm saying? Like say a platform comes out and then all these apps are on it as well. Maybe diversifying into some of those. Here you set your research criteria for what you believe is a good investment, and I have some insight into that. Didn't put it here, but wait for it to rise, and then set the parameters for when you're going to pull out. The approach here is bet the house and let it ride. So that's the riskiest one. So you monitor your media outlets and look at a predetermined criteria for what a performer is going to look like. Buy in the ICO before it's released or right at the initial offering, and then define. This is the thing that I am saying is define the percentage you expect to gain. And then, like say, it may go to 1,000%, but I'm saying I'm out at 400. And so you just let it ride, get in and out with tether. So that's kind of the strategies that I've looked at and probably going to approach. This is just a little list of things you may need. So you'll need some cash. I recommend $2,000. a block folio or some sort of way of tracking your trades in a meaningful way. This is assuming that you want to do a lot of trading. A secure wallet, offline wallet, a secure method to store your passwords, account info, how to trade all between them, and then a list of pitfalls and boons for trading on different exchanges, because this is important, because if you're trying to make time sensitive trades, on some of them you won't be able to access your funds in a given time. Like Bittrex is probably pretty good because it's like 30 minutes. Coinbase, it may take you a lot longer. I'd recommend a bot for if you're going to be making premeditated trading for long-term, medium, and short. But most importantly, having some sort of bot that can pull you out at like 3 a.m. when you're sleeping, and then some sort of list that defines your research criteria for each of those 3 strategies or your own strategy. So that's my basic little spiel.
That was good, man.
Yeah, awesome. Cool. So let's so Patrick, do you have anything else you want to talk about, or do you want to like talk about this investment?
We could talk about this investment.
Doing like an investment club type thing?
Yeah.
So in terms of tracking, so let's talk about a few things first. So in terms of tracking, we're thinking Blockfolio might be the best. Is that what you use, Pat?
Crypto Compare.
He uses Crypto Compare.
Crypto Compare.
Bill uses Blockfolio, I think.
Okay, yeah. So those two.
It's just whichever one works.
Right. So the idea is, so what we might do is have a Blockfolio or a Crypto Compare, and then whatever we're in at the time is going to be reflected on this Blockfolio or Crypto Compare.
Yeah.
And this way we can all quickly know what we're actually invested in, rather than having to ask me or ask Barrett. So we'll have like a specific site where you can see effectively public information. It'll be shared just between us, but it'll either be Blockfolio or Crypto Compare, and that'll have the up-to-date info.
Yeah.
So that's how we communicate as to what we're into. So, and this is also how people can remember what's going on. Oh, wait a second. Oh no, this is probably nothing. Hello? Hmm? Hey. Yeah.
How do you like
hey, if you're busy,
Crypto
it's all good.
Compare?
I like it fine. It just gives me a quick reference. I mean, it's not perfect, but it's perfect.
Can you track like your trades?
Yeah, I just have to put them in manually though.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know how Blockfolio looks.
How's his buddy's thing? Have you ever tried that thing?
Which one?
I don't know. His last name is G or something. I think Aaron or something.
Aaron Garvey. Yeah, he hasn't got it up running.
Okay.
It's an ability to trade on all platforms at once that you can log into. That you already have accounts on.
Okay. And just connects them all.
We could do it off Facebook or something.
We'll see.
I could just call you up. Can you do that on the phone
Y'all
or
don't
whatever?
need me
What?
now. Well, if y'all gonna do that, I don't need to do that.
We're
You
gonna
don't
do
do
it.
You can get out of here.
I ain't got no $2,000.
Well, no,
No, we're
it's
just talking about it.
we're just laying some ideas out there. Just
Yeah.
I
figuring it
don't
out.
have much more.
Yeah.
Oh,
but
it's
you'll
fine.
have
You
to
got
grab
some
it
in
and then,
Bitcoin already, and
I
like
got
my
Bitcoin.
and
I got
Ethereum.
email or something.
And then I got 5 baskets.
Yeah. You're right. The $2,000 is
I
just
took my rainy day fund and throwed it.
No, it's fine. If you got Ethereum and you got some other money, I mean, you got some money in it already.
I was just gonna let it sit for a while.
You can,
It's
and
not a
that's
bad.
totally
It's not a
fine.
bad strategy.
I mean, it ain't like I got but a lot.
Okay.
No. It doesn't.
Well,
we're not. We just
I will
talk because we
text
just
you
talk.
the,
It's
We
all
just
about.
enjoy doing it.
number or whatever.
Yeah, like
Um,
when we talk about some monies and everything, we're just in general. If you got whatever money you got in crypto, if that's what you want to put in, then that's what you put in, and that's fine. And if you just want to sit and come to the meetings and learn, that's fine too. It doesn't really matter. It's not we are asking for money. We're not doing anything.
Oh, he told me no, but I
Yeah.
just.
Yeah, we're just sitting here talking about stuff, and maybe you see an idea where one of these
Well,
things
half of
are
this
like.
stuff I don't even know what you're talking about. That's
It's
why
okay.
I wanted to know where the video.
It's cool. I'm saying some of these things we might be coming on, they maybe only cost $2 a share. $2 a token.
Okay.
And then maybe you transfer some of your Ethereum, which is like
And
$300 something dollars. Well, yeah. You just hand me if you want to hand me.
Can I get it 75% on that?
If you want to just hand me, like, if you one time want to.
I said I don't know how to move nothing.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. You could just hand us, like $50, and then I'll get you 25 tokens of these, and we're pretty sure it's going to go up, and then maybe make a couple $100, and you say keep it.
Because what I was actually, can you turn that off? Is they gonna hear everything I say?
Yeah, I'll turn it off.
Yeah, we'll turn it off.
What my originally thing is.
Give me 1 second.
Here, I'll do it.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you're fine.
Well,
I'll just be quicker with it.
But I'm not. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm going.